Welcome to Dirty Little Secrets inside the health products industry. You're going to totally freak out when you hear this true story that happened to us at the Heath Ranger store. Okay, this is how we're saving you from being poisoned, seriously. There's a liquid product, a new liquid product that we had approved the sample and the ingredients and everything. We'd gone through the testing, everything was good. And we ordered from this supplier that we wanted, I think it was a couple of 55-gallon drums of this liquid, right? So we'd already done the testing of the sample, and we issued them a purchase order, and they shipped us these 55-gallon drums. Now, what we do is every time we get something in, we take another sample to the lab, and we test it again. We test it for heavy metals and other things, and we do microbiology testing, and we're also adding pesticide testing to everything as well. And this test on the ICP-MS, which is the elemental mass spec, came up like crazy high mercury. Yeah, mercury, which we don't often see in a lot of supplements. It's a heavy metal, it's obviously very, very toxic, but it's not, it's hard to get into foods unless something's totally contaminated. Like we see a lot of lead, we see cadmium in cacao nibs and things like that. There's lead in tea, there's lead in turmeric, all kinds of stuff like that, but we don't see mercury that often. So my lab tech who was running the ICP, he asked me, like, is this an error or something? What's going on? So I looked at the results, and the standards looked good, the quant curve looked good, everything. I said, like, no, that looks real. Take another sample. Go back to the original drum, get another sample, and run it again. And he does that, runs it again. Crazy high mercury. We're like, what? I don't remember the exact level, but I think it was maybe 800 parts per billion, which is insanely high for, we wouldn't sell that. Probably Amazon would happily sell that because they don't care. They sell all kinds of stuff that's contaminated with mercury. They don't care. But for us, we're like, no way, we would never sell that. So we called the supplier and we said, dudes, there's mercury in your drums, in your liquid. And there wasn't mercury in your original sample. Where is this mercury coming from? And by the way, we're rejecting this stuff because we can't sell it, and that would be unethical, and it's contaminated. So sorry, you're going to have to ship us some new stuff. Well, they did. They freaked out, of course. They want, our business, and they want to supply quality products and so on. It turns out that the 55-gallon drums had somehow been contaminated with mercury before our supplier even got them. So the mercury was introduced from inside the drums. It wasn't in the liquid that they made. It was in the drums. And then you can imagine the drums get shipped, a few 100 miles or 1,000 miles by truck. And then the drums are just sloshing around all this internal mercury, mixing it with the liquid. And then we test it in our lab. We're like, yeah, there's high mercury in here. So, of course, the answer was they had to get us all new liquid, all new product, with new drums that weren't contaminated. And that's what they did. They were happy to do it. And we helped them find out the problem with their supply lines. And we protected our customers from mercury poisoning. There you go. So I don't know how many companies are doing the testing that we do. Seems like it's not very many. But if you want clean products that we have tested, we check everything. Go to healthrangerstore.com. And this is a true story. I don't want to embarrass the supplier, so I'm not going to name their name or anything. It wasn't even their fault. It was the container. But this happens every day. And if you're buying products from companies like Amazon that don't do this testing, you're going to get poisoned sooner or later. No doubt about it. Because I've seen this multiple times. This is not the first thing I've seen. You want clean products we do the testing for you to protect you from this kind of stuff. Because you don't know who you can trust out there. There's mercury, there's lead, there's cadmium, there's arsenic, all over the place. And if you're not doing the testing, you're going to get poisoned. We do the testing for you, healthrangerstore.com. If you want clean products. It's as simple as that. So thank you for listening. Mike Adams here, the Heath Ranger. I'm obviously the founder of healthrangerstore.com and also the editor of naturalnews.com. Take care.
Learn more at healthrangerreport.com.